It's 5 o'clock on the Wednesday, and it's time for
A Craig and Ryland Magic Review Show.
I'm Craig.
I'm Ryland.
Welcome back to another review show right here on
Magic TV.
Absolutely. And we are back with 4 brand new tricks, or actually 3 brand new tricks and one that's been around a little bit of time, but we've had lots of requests to review it. But yeah, it's going to be an amazing review show. I can't guarantee that everything is great, because there's a trick in here that frankly is terrible. But we're not going to start off with that one. We're going to start off with a trick that I put as one of the best tricks at the Blackpool Magic Convention 2024. This made my top 10 list.
Really?
Yeah,
Top 10?
it made the top 10 list, and
Wow.
I think if you'd have put a top 10 list together, it would have made yours as well.
Okay.
Let's
What
have.
is it?
Well, we're going to go into it now. It's called the Haunted Balloon.
Oh, yeah, it's really good.
So first up, we have the Haunted Balloon. Now, this is kind of a difficult prop to find. It was available to buy at Blackpool. We didn't get it at Blackpool, but we contacted the guy afterwards. And the only way, there's a website with the Haunted Balloon on it, but you can't buy it off the website. How we got ours is we contacted the creator through Facebook and sent a Facebook message, and he replied, and we PayPal'd him, and we got the parcel, and it was delivered, and photos were sent. It was very, very good customer service. But that's probably the best way to get hold of him if you are going to want one of these. But the question is, what is the Haunted Balloon? Well, this is one of the things that a lot of people were talking about in Blackpool. Basically, imagine this. Imagine that you've got a helium-filled balloon, and you're holding it like this on a string, like you would a normal helium-filled balloon. And then all of a sudden, you can snap your finger. You can basically control how that balloon acts.
And you don't even have to touch it if you don't want to.
No, well, we'll get to that in a minute, but the main effect is you're holding the balloon and you can make it drop at your command right down to the floor, as if the helium's been taken out of it. But anytime you want to, you can make it rise. And you can go into this at any point in your show. So you can have this balloon set up in your on stage, and anytime you want to, you can go and grab the balloon and you can go into it. And also, what else is there to say about it? Also, like you said, you can do it completely hands-off. Now, when we bought it, we watched the whole tutorial and we saw the method, and we both said, I don't think that we'd probably do that with the hands-off method. I think we'd probably end up holding it. But having tried it, is it actually really good, isn't it? So tell them what the hands-off method looks like.
Basically, you put it anywhere you want, just like in a box, in a bag, anywhere. And all you have to do is snap your fingers whenever you want, without even touching it, just make it come down.
Yeah, and then at your command, anytime you want to, you can make it go up.
Make it go up, yeah.
Now, you filmed this for Instagram, didn't you? So let's have a look at an Instagram video of Ryland so you can see exactly what it looks like. This was a short reel done to music, but I'll give you an idea of the look of the effect. Okay, so that shows you what it is. Now, the second that we watched this tutorial, you kind of said to me, I want to put that in my show. So do you want to tell everyone, because we've got a video of some rehearsal footage of what you're planning on doing for your show. Do you want to tell everyone how you're planning on putting it in and what your idea is for it?
Yeah, so I'm gonna be like, so it's like, I'm saying like lots of people ask me if I can teach them magic. And yeah, I can, but under one circumstance, you've got to try to use your imagination. So do you promise to use your imagination? Yeah. And it's like, right, I'll show you first. If I really concentrate, the balloon will go down. And you're
going over and taking the balloon and you're holding onto it, aren't you?
I'm holding it and it goes down. And I do it. I say, if you stop imagining just for a split second, the balloon starts to come back up. Now, we'll get you to try it, and then I get the audience to do it. Because I go like, when I do it, and then I put it in the box, and then they do it, so I'm not even touching it.
But you're on the other side of the stage at this point.
So I use both, and then I put it in there, and I'm not even touching it. So it's just there, and then I say, now stop imagining it just for a second, and it starts to come back up.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. That's basically what the presentation is. We've picked some nice music out for it, haven't we? Which is E.T. That's going to be playing over the top, which is important. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. If you want to see the rehearsal footage, this isn't like obviously a final show or anything, but this is some footage we took when Ryland was rehearsing it. So let's have a look at that, and then we'll talk about the pros and cons.
Lots of people watch my magic, but most of them afterwards, they ask me if I can show them a trick and teach it them. Now yes, I can, but that's under one circumstance. That's if you promise to use your imagination. There's a reason that some kids are really good at magic. That's because they've got a really good imagination. And that's why some adults really struggle. So you've got to promise to use your imagination. Do you promise?
Yeah.
Okay, well I can show you a trick. Because I've got a helium balloon here. Now normally, if you have a helium balloon, the balloon only goes one direction, and that's up. But if you want to do the impossible, all you want to use is use your imagination. Watch this. You can actually see if I really start to concentrate, you can see that the balloon starts to go down like this. Like that, okay? You can see that the balloon really does go down. But obviously, if I stop using my imagination just for a split second, the balloon starts to rise back up. Now, you can have a go if you want. I'll put the balloon back in here, like this. And now you can have a go. All you've got to do is concentrate really hard. What you're going to do is concentrate really hard. It's going to happen on the count of 3. Just really concentrate. 1, 2, 3. What you're going to do is really concentrate. And if you start to really concentrate, then that balloon should start to come down. But you've got to really concentrate. Come on guys, you can do it. There we go. You can actually see that you've completely brought the balloon back down. Now that's really cool. But I'll set you a little challenge. See if you can actually raise the balloon back. What you're going to do is raise it on the count of 3. When I say 3, raise the balloon. 1, 2, 3. And now you start to raise the balloon. Really start to think about that balloon raising up. And you can actually see that balloon actually does rise up. Well done. Whoa!
Okay, so let's talk about the pros and cons. First of all, it looks incredible, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It looks really, really good. Like, it fooled me, fooled you. No idea how it works. You'd think it was something like invisible thread, but it's not, which means that the lighting isn't an issue at all because the traditional way of having an object animate is not being used here. So there's no lighting issues to consider. Yep. There's nothing like that. It is literally self-contained. It comes in a really nice little case. Inside the case, you've got everything that you need. It comes with about 10 or 12 balloons that you can buy other balloons, obviously, and they're easy to find. We've bought a whole bunch of balloons for it. And everything goes inside the case, including all of the electronic stuff. So if you want to do it just by holding it in your hand, and I've seen magicians do this where they bring somebody up on stage and they hold their hand and that causes it to go down, you can do. If you want to put it in a box and do it hands off, like Ryland's planning on doing it, you do need, you are going to be using the electronic components. Now, the actual balloon has not got electronics in it, but the box that you put it in has got something that you put in there that basically allows the effect to work. And you have a remote control so you can fire it off yourself from anywhere you are on stage.
Yeah.
One of the negatives, I think, what you should draw to people's attention is it's quite noisy when you do it using the electronics, isn't it?
Yeah, but there's really no other way to do it electronically. That's the
only well, the only way to do it if you're in a quieter environment is to just do it by holding it. But if you're going to use the electronics,
you're going to want music.
You're going to want music. Now, performing on a stage, not an issue. Performing on a kids show, not an issue, as long as the music is loud enough. But if you go into an environment like a parlour show and you've got loud music and you've got people maybe closer to you and you want to do this, maybe don't use the hands-off method and instead use the method where you're holding onto it. The other thing is you are going to have to buy a helium canister and carry that around with you to gigs as well because it is genuine helium in a genuine balloon.
Nothing special about the balloon, nothing special about
the helium or anything, but you are going to need a helium canister.
It's not like special helium. If you think it goes down, it goes down.
No. But you are going to have to carry that helium canister around with you, or else you're not going to be able to perform the trick. So you're going to need the helium canister, you're going to need the thing that you carry around with you. That's something to bear in mind as well. The method is very clever. The method works, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. You can't... One thing that I'm a bit disappointed about is you can't give the balloon away, really. Because...
Not if it's on the string.
If it's on the string, which it obviously has to be, you can't take it off the string and just give it them, because the string is part of the method. Mm-hmm. Because I saw it and I was like, oh, wouldn't it be nice to give them the balloon at the end, the kid that's come up and helped you? But you can't do that, because you could take the balloon out of the string and then give them the balloon, but that would look a bit weird. That you would take it, why you take it, why not just give them the string that you've got? You know what I mean? It'd just look a bit weird. So you can't really give it away. That's something to bear in mind as well. And the other thing to bear in mind is this is not a cheap trick. This is £800 or $1,000. It's not cheap. Now, when you see how it works, you can kind of understand why it's the price that it is. And we knew the price and knew how it worked, and still we decided to get it for your show because we knew there was a point in the show that we were looking for something like this, and it's perfect.
It is perfect, yeah.
You do a lot of animations in your show and a lot of stuff where things float, and this is a great way of doing it where you don't have to rely on thread, you don't have to rely on anything like that, because there's so many moments with the dancing cane and the Harry Potter act and the dancing handkerchief and the flying rings. There's so many moments where you use thread in your show that it's nice to be able to have an animation that doesn't rely on that typical methodology.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You've been rehearsing it now for 2 to 3 weeks. Is there anything else you can say? I know you're planning on doing it this weekend for the first time, and you've been rehearsing it to death. Anything else that you want to say about it? Because, you know, you're the one that's been rehearsing it. Is it worth the money? Is it worth 800 quid?
Not if... I think he should put a version in there that's not electronic if you don't want to use the electronics.
I think the thing that I think that's a really good point, mate.
I think the reason it's so expensive is because of the electronics. So I think you should make a version where you can buy it for a cheaper, where there's no electronics.
Yeah, and it's
like some people are going to spend all that money but not use the electronics.
Like you say, if you're not performing on a stage, you're not going to be able to do the electronic version. You're just not. Oh, the other thing to bear in mind is if you're thinking about doing this walk around, you can't do it walk around. If you're walking around a fair, for example, in the summer, you can't constantly have the balloon keep going up and down and up and down and up and down. I think you could probably do it 4 or 5 times. You could construct a whole act around it, but at some point you're going to need to disappear and do something in order to be able to do that again. Am I right in saying that? You couldn't just walk around.
Sometimes the method, I don't know how to say it, sometimes the method comes out. I don't know how to say it.
Yeah, sometimes you need to reset the method. The method, there's something you need to do to set up the trick beyond just putting helium in the balloon.
You put something in the something, and then you do something with the something, and then the balloon goes down.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you do it too many times, you're going to run out of the something.
When you put the something in the something sometimes comes out.
And if enough of it comes out, you can't do it anymore. Yeah.
So you have to refill the something with more something.
That's the most confusing thing I've ever seen in my life. Right, okay, I'm going to give it 79%. I think it's very good. Please bear in mind, it's very expensive. It's not for everybody. If you like the effect, if you like the idea of doing this, like I say, we had this idea for your act in mind before we saw the prop. And then we saw the prop and we were like, that is perfect. That's exactly what we need. And obviously, Ryland also does stuff, only ever performs with stuff that kids would use. So a balloon filled with helium obviously fits that. But it is very, very expensive. Please bear that in mind. But I like it. I wouldn't do it. It's not my sort of thing. But I think if you're a kid show entertainer, this could be... I imagine this is going in your kid show as well. I imagine...
Yeah.
Yeah. Kid shows, brilliant. Stage shows, brilliant. Even sort of parlour shows, as long as you don't do the electronic method, brilliant. But for me, I'm not going to do it. 79%. What about you? 100%. So 100% from Ryland, 79% from me. If you're happy with the price, go and get it, because it really does what it's meant to do. Now, not every high-priced, expensive trick does what it's meant to do. And the next trick... This one does, but the next trick is very expensive and definitely doesn't do what it's meant to do.
I mean, it nearly did something to something.
Oh, it almost blew up the house. Right, let's look at this one next. So next up, we are back with another Peter Eggink trick. Now, we've we've kind of not bothered reviewing Peter Eggink tricks for a while because, frankly, I was sick of wasting my money.
But then
I was
this
just
one,
sick of wasting my money because I just know when I buy it. And don't forget, we buy almost everything that we review, and I just know when I buy it, it's going to go in the bin.
but then we saw this.
We saw this, and
we thought it looked sick.
well, you thought it looked sick. I had reservations, but you know, you wanted to review
I was like,
it.
Peter Eggink actually brought out something good.
So
Daddy, look at this.
So we bought it. It's first of all, before we talk about the trick, let's talk about what the effect is and the tutorial. So the effect, basically, there's a couple of different things that Peter goes through in the tutorial. The main effect is that you have a glass.
Deck of cards.
You put a glass on a deck of cards. You take a match. You light a match. Flick out the flame. Well, no, the flame just vanishes apparently, and then the glass fills up with water, with smoke, and you turn it over.
It doesn't even look like the same. Black, white.
Yeah,
black, white.
It's different smoke. It's different smoke. That's the main effect. Now, there's actually a couple of different uses for this. So, in order for you to understand this, the first thing is you get a unit that's built out of roughly half a deck of cards. It's designed to look like a half a deck of cards, like 26 cards, and everything's built into there. And what you get is you get 2 playing cards that get stuck on top of the unit. I mean, I don't think we're giving too much away by telling people there's a smoke unit built into a plastic gimmick that's 26 cards. So it looks like half a deck of cards and there's a smoke unit filled in there.
And I thought when I first saw
But hang on, can I just say one thing?
It looks really cool.
There's a blue card and there's a red card that goes on top.
So you can do whichever one you want.
Well, the 2 gimmicks are slightly different. First of all, it's double-sided tape, so you have to stick it on top of the thing. The blue one, the blue gimmick, is designed specifically for the smoke and glass. The red gimmick is used for a version of Haunted 2.0, which Peter Eggink put out with Paul House Presents years ago. And Peter goes through kind of how to do parts of that routine, or how to do that routine. Now, the one thing that I want to point out is throughout the tutorial, Peter kept referencing this other person who created the trick with him, and he kept saying, hey, this guy's gonna come along later on and show you some more uses for the gimmick and show you some really cool card changes, because one thing that you can do is you can have a card picked, you can have it put back, and you can change another card into the card that you've picked and have the smoke appear as you do that. That never happened. That did not make it onto the tutorial. Despite being referenced many times through the tutorial, this guy never turned up. So in essence,
that's something you don't want to happen.
No, so, you know, and it just shows the lack of care and attention that Peter gives his products, that literally the thing he was talking about through the tutorial never materialized. And instead, what we have is we basically have the lead effect, the main effect, which is the smoke in the glass. And then we have the other gimmick, the red gimmick, that's used for Haunted 2.0 or other uses that we didn't get to see because obviously the guy didn't appear. So that's what's on the tutorial. Now, very quickly, because I know you've got thoughts that you want to talk about with this, let's just show a performance of you doing this.
I was going to say, this may look like it would have been one take, but it took about like 500.
It took a lot of takes, and we'll talk about why afterwards. But let's just have a look. A very quick video. We filmed this for Instagram, but there's no way it's ever going to go up on Instagram. But here's a quick video of Ryland doing Tornado.
We're definitely not putting that on Instagram.
No, definitely not.
I'm talking about how how the fact that you can see the gimmick so clearly.
Yeah, well, we can talk about that when
we'll talk about once you've seen that.
Yeah, let's just have a look at the performance first. Go. You had thoughts.
Oh yeah.
You said to me, I want to talk about this. Go.
So the gimmick, you can see it clearly because it's like the card that you've got, the blue card that you stick on top of the thing, the little clear thing. The way for the smoke machine to work, it's got to blow the smoke out of the card.
Or through the card.
Yeah, or through the card. But obviously, well, that's what I'm saying. It's got to somehow get out of the card from the stickiness. It can't go underneath because that's not going into the glass, and it can't go out the side because that's going out the glass. So he's had to go for the top. So what you're supposed to do, well, what you get is you get a card that you've basically
Well, it's gimmicked,
yeah,
isn't
it's
it?
like
It's hinged.
it's hinged, but you can see it so clearly. Like if you want to get the smoke out, you've got to open it, and it's like, let's say that this was a card, the hinge literally goes up to there, and apparently Peter says that like you can't see it.
Well, he says it's a
How can
180
you not
viewing
see
angle.
that?
Yeah, you can see it. You can see it. The only way you can't see it is if you're far enough back, but anybody who's in decent close-up conditions would be able to see it as well. So you're meant to put the glass on and that opens the hinge, but the second the glass is on there, you can see exactly what's happening just immediately. So that's your first problem. The second problem is it uses this smoke fluid to basically make the smoke appear. And here's the problem here, in that Peter says that he goes very, very in depth about not using too much of this smoke liquid and only using 1 drop each time, which we did. We were very careful about it. And you want to refill it in between each performance. So let's say you were wanting to do this walk around, not that you could, but let's say you wanted to do it on a table hopping situation, and you find an excuse to put the deck down to do the match trick, and you put the thing on top. In between each performance, you're going to have to open up the gimmick and get your little get your little bottle of smoke liquid out, put more smoke liquid in. It's going to have to be a complete reset in between each table, which makes it very, very impractical for most close-up situations. The other thing is, when you go to switch it off to charge it up, you have to take that whole sticky card off. Now, the problem with taking the sticky card on and off is that's been custom engineered to have that hinge and magnet in place so that it locks until you put the glass on top. And it's the same with the red card, but it's made slightly differently. And constantly taking that card off and putting it on is just going to wreck that card. And once it's wrecked, you don't get told how to replace it or how to make another one. You don't get, you can't get another one. So if that card, which is literally just a normal playing card that's been gimmicked, if that card gets wrecked through taking it off and putting it on again, you're not going to be able to do the trick again. And if the sticky becomes unsticky because you keep taking it off and putting it on, you're going to have to get more sticky tape and put it down before you actually do it again. And I think there's a very good chance that that card will break. However, you're not going to have to worry about that because the whole thing is going to break before the card breaks, which I know you want to talk about as well. But before you do, I know you said, "Oh, that looks cool. Peter Eggink's done a good trick."
No.
Even when I saw it, I didn't think it was, because here's the thing. If you're going to, right, you have a deck of cards on the table and you put a glass on top of the deck of cards and the glass fills up with smoke, I don't think it takes half a brain for a spectator to think, well, hang on a minute, you put that glass on top of that deck of cards. That's where the smoke's come from. What do you do if the spectator says, "Can I look at those cards?" Well, no, you can't, because...
Can you put the glass somewhere else?
Can you put the glass over there and do it again? Well, no. No, and they'll know exactly how it works. And the deck, you have no reason for having the deck in play. It's only half a deck. Half of it is gimmicked. So Peter talks about how he starts with a transposition and has 3 regular cards on top and does a 2-card transposition. Doesn't teach it, but he talks about how he does that first of all, and then he puts the deck down and then he goes into it. I don't think there's much you can do with this deck before you actually go into this smoke routine. So in other words, you're going to have to carry a deck of cards around with you specifically to put a glass on top of it. And I think it's fairly obvious to anybody that's watching this that the glass is getting filled up with smoke and it's on top of a deck. I think most people will know where that smoke's coming from, especially when you consider that when they look inside the glass and look at the top of the deck, it's fucking... shouldn't have sworn, sorry. It's absolutely obvious where the smoke is coming from.
I didn't hear nothing.
Oh, good. I'm glad you have selective memory loss. Do you want to talk about
The other thing.
about what else happened with it?
Yeah.
Bearing in mind, by the way, we were very careful. Whenever we use electronics, we constantly are working on high-priced stuff. Like, if anyone saw Ryland's Harry Potter act at Blackpool, that uses a 4-motor pod system from Sean Begonia. Like, that thing's not cheap. We're very good at looking after equipment. You have a smoke pad that uses the same sort of electronic device that you use for your cups and balls. We have other smoke devices, okay? We know how to use smoke devices. When Peter says, use 1 drop of nitroglycerin, that's what we did. We followed it to the letter. We did everything the guy said.
When we were in the middle of performing, I went to like we were in the middle of performing. I went to like do it, and then you were about to press the remote control, and then when you pressed it, the heating element set fire to the cotton wool. I saw the fire, like it was.
The deck started burning.
Yeah, it was getting bigger, so I tried to blow it out, and I did eventually blow it out, but like Peter Eggink nearly burnt our house down.
Shut up. I don't think the house broke down. Come on. But then after that, like all of the stuff that's inside.
Yeah, all of the cotton. Because the cotton burns easily. Like, that's like what people use to set.
It's not cotton, but it's special.
Yeah, like, it looks like cotton and it's like cotton.
That all went up in smoke, literally.
Yeah, it went up in smoke and then it's gone now. Smoke won't work.
Well, we've chucked it in the bin. We've chucked it in the bin because it's just not reliable.
Yeah, when it sets fire to the stuff that's like cotton, and the cotton's gone, all you've got left is a heating element that's probably going to set something on fire.
So it's gone in the bin. 160 quid this was. £160 with shipping, and it's gone in the bin. It's just, you know, I constantly go on, you know, ever since I've started this review channel, people have said, oh, Craig Petty, Ryland Petty, you know, they hate Peter Eggink. I don't hate Peter Eggink. What I absolutely hate is the fact that for the last 3 years or so, every single thing he's bought out is complete and total trash. And he has a reputation of shutting review channels down that say something negative about his product. I remember when he threatened Prop Dog because they said something negative about Peter Eggink's product. Well, yeah, I'm sick to death of it. I'm absolutely tired of it. I'm tired of sitting here going, many years ago, Peter Eggink was good, and I'm pretty sure he's going to bring another good trick out. I've just dropped 160 quid on something I've thrown in the bin after 10 minutes. I am absolutely sick and tired of Peter Eggink taking the absolute pee out of every single magic consumer in this industry because his overpriced, dangerous crap is just ridiculous, and it breaks within minutes. It breaks within minutes. I am just sick and tired of it. I'm sick and tired of it. It's why I stopped reviewing Peter Eggink stuff, and now I give him another punt, and it's just as bad, if not worse, than anything he's put out before. It's obvious to me at this point that all this guy cares about is money. All he cares about is having a cash grab, and I am absolutely sick and tired of Peter Eggink's crap coming out again and again, and I'm done with it. I'm absolutely done with it. This gets minus 6,377,427,321 to the power of Tulin. It's bloody awful.
To the power of Tulin.
What are you giving it?
The same as you, but minus infinity times infinity squared.
Minus infinity times infinity squared. I like that.
Add that onto you.
Boom. Just dreadful. Absolutely dreadful in every way, shape and form. Peter, do us all a favour and please just try and either release something good or go away. Okay, so next up we have Tiny Grand Illusion by Green Lemon. And Tiny Grand Illusion, I'm not going to tell you what it is. We're going to show you a performance of it now by Ryland. So Ryland, yeah. So Ryland learnt this, and you're going to see a full performance of Ryland doing this. It's a 3-phase routine. It can be longer, it can be shorter, but I'm not going to say anything. Have a look at this performance.
Now, being a kid, I obviously can't carry around big illusions on my own. So I've got my lovely assistant here, and her name is Kat. Okay, as you can see. Completely normal on the back, and we've got Kat here. So this is like a little mini illusion. So this is Kat, and what's really cool is she's already split into 3. But if I swap up pieces around, you can see if I do this, and I snap my fingers, you can see that she's now back to normal.
What?
Which is really cool, yeah?
Yeah, that's weird.
Now I'll tell you what, you mix them up, and I won't look. Look over here.
You're not looking now.
No. I'm not going to look, and I want you to just mix them up as much as you want.
Done.
Done? Okay. Right, so we've got these 3 pieces, okay?
Yeah.
Now, I'll put this one first, because obviously it's on the top. Which way do you want to go? Do you want to go that way? Or do you want to go that way?
The other one.
That way.
Yes.
Okay. Now, which side do you want this to go on?
My left, your right.
Okay, that, there. And do you want to flip it round?
Yes, I flip it round, yes,
Flip
please.
it round. Okay. And which way do you want to go this?
Just on the other side, as it is.
As it is. Okay. So we have this. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's really cool. If I just snap my fingers, you can see we've got the head, the middle, and the legs.
No! What?
That's really cool, isn't it?
Dude, that's incredible.
Now, we'll do it one last time. We'll see if we can do it one last time, okay?
Okay.
Okay. So you want to try again?
You want me to mix it up again?
Mm-hmm. But this time, make it harder.
I don't know how hard I can make it, mate. I thought I was making it hard the first time. Right, okay.
You want it?
Yep.
Okay. Right. So as it's on the top again, which way do you want to go it? Do you want to have it that way or that way?
The first one, yeah.
That one.
Yeah.
Okay. And which side do you want this one?
That way.
This
there,
way?
yeah, there,
Yeah,
there.
yeah, okay. And which way?
That's fine.
That's
the
fine.
way it is, yeah.
And then
Spin that one round.
spin that one round. So we have this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Yeah. Now, I'm hoping this works because I'm hoping that you made it a little bit harder, yeah?
I did make it harder, right?
You made it harder. Yeah, okay, right. Let's start with this. We have the legs. I mean, that's a good start. That's a good start.
Okay,
We
yeah,
have-
the legs are in the right place.
We have the... How much?
Maybe she's just become really short.
Yeah. She's just come short.
No, I don't. No, she's got no middle.
Oh, she got. So you're not counting it?
Not really, no.
No. Well, I mean, we've got the middle, but it doesn't really help. Wait, do you remember at the beginning when I put down that card, say my lovely assistant? If you look on the back, you can actually see that we do have the body, the head, and the legs. Whoa!
Okay, simply put, I love this. It reminds me a little bit of Asta's. There's a routine by Asta, Mini Grand Illusion or something. I can't remember. That had pocket illusion. I don't know. There's a thing by Asta that this reminds me of. It's kind of similar in that regard. The cards are really well designed. There's 2 versions that you can get. There's the version that Ryland just performed with the assistants. There's another version with a mummy and a coffin, so you can kind of do the same sort of thing with a mummy and a coffin,
cool.
which would be great for like Halloween shows and stuff like that. The cards are examinable. At the end, you can look at all of them. There's nothing to find. It's very, very easy to do. There's no sleight of hand. If you watch the tutorial, which is very well filmed, you will immediately know how to do this. Although the cards are marked on the back, they are very easily spotted. You can see the marks a mile off because of how they are marked. The 4 cards just get put in the pocket. They take up no space. It's kind of the perfect everyday carry routine because you can put them into the wallet. And it's very, very different. It's not a card trick. It's not a coin trick. It's got a really cool hook. Sven, who's on the tutorial, spends a lot of time talking about the hook and how you hook people in using this routine and what you say and what you do. But it's a very direct 3-phase routine. Phase 1, a mismade girl goes back to normal. Phase 2, you mix the cards up, you put them down in any orientation that you want to, and they're correct. And the final one, it's incorrect, but it matches your prediction. I love this. I think this is really, really good. I think this could work in any environment. You need a table, but you don't need a special close-up pad or anything, so it'll work on any table surface. I can see a lot of table hoppers doing this. What are your thoughts? You've not really said much.
I really like it.
Do you? How hard was it to learn?
Not that hard.
No?
No. And the markings are really easy to see.
They are really easy to see, aren't they? And it's actually very fooling. You actually had this shown to you at Blackpool by Sven, and didn't it fool you?
Yeah.
Yeah, it did, yeah. It's the sort of thing that when you see it, you kind of like, you know what should be happening, but you can't really figure out exactly how it works. It doesn't make any sense because genuinely they can mix it up as much as they want to. They can orientate these things around as much as they want to, and immediately you can show that you've got the perfect outcome every single time.
Yeah.
You can do it as long or as short as you want. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing else to say about it. It does what it's meant to do. It does what it says on the tin. It packs small. It plays big. I like it. I'm going to have one in my wallet, and I'd be happy to pull this out. I think, I do close-up before illusion shows. You know, it's normally me doing the close-up while you're sitting on your ass somewhere in a green room just playing on your Switch while I'm just actually going out and doing the hard work. And then you come in and just do the show and get the glory and go, isn't that little Harry Potter cute? You know, that sort of scenario. Well, when I'm going out and doing the hard work and I'm doing the close-up magic, I think this would be brilliant because we're doing an illusion show later on. So talking about having, an illusion in my pocket and being able to do something like this will allow me to say, well, if you like that, you'll love the show a little bit later on because you'll see an obnoxious little 11-year-old boy get chopped in half.
No, chopped in thirds.
In thirds, yes, absolutely.
And then squished.
And plunged and all sorts of things. So I like this. I'm going to give
That's
it...
what I'm saying. In the same illusion, I get cut into thirds and I get squished. And then another one, I get plunged. And then one of them, they made me disappear.
Guess what?
And then they shoved swords through me.
Guess what? Next month you're learning the fire spiker.
That's why they push flaming spears through my body.
Yep, that's the one. I'm going to give this 90%. What are you giving it?
100.
100. 100% from Ryland, 90% from me. It is amazing, and you can pick it up from Green Lemon. Okay, so the final trick that we're going to look at today is called Climax, and it is basically the walking knot with a skipping rope, which sounds really weird. Now, you've been working on this for a while.
The walking knot with a skipping rope.
Yeah.
That's the way you said it, that's funny.
Well, it is, though. It's a walking knot with a skipping rope. If you don't know the walking knot, we've got walking knot. It's a long piece of rope, and you cut the rope and you tie it up and you move the rope from one place.
I love the walking knot.
Walking knot is great.
I already loved it, and then now I see Climax and I'm like,
Climax is great. Now, Ryland's been working on Climax for a while. You prefer Climax because it's a skipping rope, so it fits more with your I'm a kid, I do magic type thing. And he put this into his show for the first time at his sister's birthday party. So he did his sister's birthday party. And
she enjoyed it.
She very much enjoyed it, so did all of her friends.
And I
And
gave her a cuddle afterwards.
I know you did.
And then she gave me 3 cupcakes.
Well, there you go. That's a great payment. And the you put this in the show for the first time. You're like, I'm just going to try it. I'm going to give it a go. And we're still playing around with it. The music I think works really well that you picked for it. You know you're a big fan of The Greatest Showman, but you elected to do this to kind of music, didn't you? And Thomas Maloney had his kids there, and Thomas contacted me afterwards. And his kids said that out of everything that you did in the show, and you did the Harry Potter act, you did all the big illusions, you did the flying linking rings, you did all that stuff.
I did all of that stuff.
Their favourite trick was the skipping rope trick.
Really?
Yeah.
There you go. That's a quote from Thomas Maloney.
Yeah, there you go.
So there you go. There you go.
Well, let's have a look.
There you go.
Let's have.
There you go.
Can we stop? Good. So.
There you go. I'm stopped.
Thank you.
There you go.
So.
There you go.
Are we done? Good. So
So there you go.
you're this close. Let's have a look at.
So there you go.
Let's have a look at a performance of Ryland
So there you
doing this at his sister's birthday. We got live performance of this. So let's have a look at it. This is Climax.
Okay, so being a kid, I like to do lots of activity hours outside. Now, as a magician, I like to create lots of tricks. Now, you may have noticed I'm holding a skipping rope because one day I was in the garden skipping and I decided to come up with an idea. And I use it as a skipping rope. Watch this.
What's that?
What's it?
I'm trying to hold my breath, let it stay this way. Can't let this moment end. You set off a dream, getting louder now. Can you hear you share this with me? 'Cause darling, without you, all the shine, the thousand spotlights, all the stars we steal from the night sky will never be enough, never be enough. Towers alone are still too little. These hands could hold the world, but it'll never be enough, never be enough for me. Never, 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 never for me, for me. Never enough, never enough for me, for me, for me. All the shine of a thousand spotlights, all the stars we steal from the night sky will never be enough, never be enough. Towers alone are still too little. These hands could hold the world, but it'll never be enough, never be
So, right, you watched the tutorial, you learnt the trick. What do you think of it? What? Tell
I
me.
think it's really good.
It's really good. Okay,
Awesome.
let me get some questions off you about various different things. So, first of all, how difficult is it?
Pretty easy.
Pretty easy. But you do fibre optics, you do the walking knot already. If somebody's got no experience of rope magic at all, would it take a little bit more practice?
No, really.
No?
No.
Because there are a couple of
If
moves
you can
where
do
you...
that, and you can do that, and you can do that, you can do the trick.
Okay, so it's fairly easy. Even if you've got small hands like you can do it.
I haven't got tiny hands.
You got small hands.
Oh, no.
And
Look, I got bigger hands than you.
what are the angles?
Look, I got bigger.
Maybe not. What are the angles like? What are the angles like?
Angles fine.
No problems?
Apart from like there. Well, I'm a lefty, so like there or there.
Would you be able to do this in a close-up situation? Or would it be...
I think you could do it closer.
Could you do it
As
close-up?
long as it's not like everyone's surrounding you.
No.
If it's like you're doing it to like a table, like probably like there.
Then you'll be okay.
No, if you've got a bunch of people like there, you'll be fine.
Okay. And obviously you chose to do it to music, but you don't have to. You can actually do it as a talking piece as well. Okay. And it's an instant reset, isn't it? Because literally the second you've restored it, you put the skipping rope back in your case and you're reset, ready to go again. So, what would you give it?
100%.
100%.
Plus tuning.
100% plus tuning. Wow.
Times tuning.
Times tuning, even better.
Plus another tuning.
So that's...
And
plus,
the times are tuning.
okay.
And plus a tuning. And times tuning. And plus times plus times plus.
I'm not going to have Michael Wynn doing any more. No more of that. So I will give it... I would definitely do it as well. In fact, I've ordered one for myself as well because he stole the one that we've got and I would actually like to put it into my show as well. I think it's really good. I've always loved the walking knot. The problem with the walking knot is it takes a big stage up. You've got to tie it to you've got to tie it to microphone stands. It takes up a lot of space. This is a way of doing a smaller, more compact version of the walking knot, but just with the skipping rope. I love this. I'm going to give this 95%. So, yeah, I can see it. So, 95% from Ryland. 95, what? 95% from me. Whatever he said, I'm just going to shut him up and then we'll come back for the wrap-up.
Times, that's another revision back. Plus, times, another revision back. Plus, times, another revision back. Plus, times,
I will take your switch off you. I will take your switch off you in 3, 2, 1. I'm serious. Right, you've lost the switch.
No, I was doing different. I'm doing it differently. Times.
If you do any more talking, I'm taking the switch off you in 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. No more talking. That's another review show in the bag. Thank you once again for joining us right here on Magic TV.
Plus times. I don't care because I got VR. Plus times.
Right, you've already lost the switch in 3 seconds. Unless you stop talking, you've lost the VR. 1, 2, no more VR. Thanks for joining us right here on Magic TV. Now, if you want to see more videos like this, like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below. I'm going to be back again tomorrow with another review show. Don't forget, Ryland, if you want to follow him, he's on Ryland the Kid Magician on Facebook. On Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Follow me, I'm on Magic TV. Don't forget, you can go and join the Netrix by going to www.thenetrix.com. .com. It's .com. I'll see you again. Thank you so much for watching. Say bye, Ryan. On behalf of Ryland, we'll see you again next week. Bye, everyone. Was that meant to be a cookie?